My seat belt is properly mounted, not damaged, has no cuts, frays, or abrasions in it, and my seat belt is fully functional. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and perform a safe start. I'm going to turn my key to just the on position. Come on. There we go. I'm waiting for my gauges to cycle, including my ABS check engine and safety seat belt indicators. And this one, the check engine light never goes off. So, I know where I have to wait on it. All right, so my check engine, safety belt, and my ABS lights have gone off, so it's safe to start the engine. All right, our engine is going. We're gonna go ahead and start with my gear selector. My gear selector is located on the right side of my steering column. I can select between drive, neutral, and reverse with a rotary selector knob. This was properly functioning last time I operated this vehicle. My turn signals are located on the left side of my steering column. My left blinker is now on and properly functioning. My right blinker is now on and properly functioning. My hazards are located on the right side of my dash. My hazards are now on and properly functioning. My low beams are located on the left side of my dash. They are now on and properly functioning. My high beam are located on the left side of my steering column. They are now on and properly functioning. Okay. My city horn is located in the center of my steering wheel. It is properly functioning. My air horn is located above my left shoulder. It is properly functioning. I'm now going to test my steering wheel for any free play. I'm going to roll my window down. I'm going to crank my steering wheel all the way to the left. Release the steering wheel. Now I'm going to grab my steering wheel with 2 fingers and go back left to right while looking at my steering tire. And if it had any more than 10% or 2 inches on a 20-inch wheel, it would indicate a problem with my steering. We are fine. My steering is functioning properly. I'm going to go ahead and straighten my wheel back out. I do that so I can see my dash. Plus, when you do your tug test later. So, all right. So that's working properly. My mirrors, all 6 of my mirrors are properly mounted, not damaged. They are clean and free of any visual obstructions and have no cracks in them. My windshield is properly mounted, not damaged. It is clean, free of any visual obstructions, and has no cracks or chips larger than a dime size in it. My windshield wipers are properly mounted, not damaged. My windshield wiper control is located on the left side of my steering column, and those are functioning properly. My windshield washer fluid is also functioning properly. Okay, I'm going to come back inside the cab. My heater controls are located on the right side of my dash with these 3 dials. I'm going to go ahead and turn my heater on, and my heater is functioning properly. My defrost control is on the far right side knob. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. My defrost is functioning properly. Go ahead and shut both those back off. Okay, now I'm going to go to my gauge clusters. My tachometer is properly functioning. Last time I operated this vehicle, it currently reads 600 RPMs. My voltage meter is located in the center display. It was properly functioning last time I operated this vehicle, and it should read between 13 and 14.5 volts. My speedo is it's functioning properly last time I operated this vehicle. It reads in miles per hour and kilometers per hour. My water temperature gauge was properly functioning last time I operated this vehicle. It currently reads 100. Normal operating temperature is between 160 and 210. My fuel gauge was properly functioning last time I operated this vehicle. It is currently reading just under half tank. My depth gauge was properly functioning last time I operated this vehicle. It is currently reading full. My oil pressure gauge was properly functioning last time I operated this vehicle. It currently reads around 52. Normal operating range is between 40 and 20 psi. My air pressure gauge was properly functioning last time I operated this vehicle. It currently reads that's like 120, no, that's 138, something like that. Normal operating range is between 90 and 120. That completes my in-cab inspection. I'm going to go ahead and perform another safe start so we can start our labs. LAB stands for leaks, alarms, and buttons. Okay, I'm going to turn it to the on position. I'm going to wait for my gauges to cycle, including my ABS check engine and fasten seatbelt light. Also at this time, I'm checking to make sure we are on a flat level ground. My transmission is in neutral and both of my brakes are engaged. Okay, so we've cycled through. My check engine, ABS, and fasten seatbelt light have gone off. We're now going to safe start. So what we're doing here is we're waiting for our pressure to build up between 120 and 130 psi. We're also listening for our governor to kick in, which you should hear a loud, sharp hissing noise when that kicks in, and we reach our full capacity on our air tank. I'm going to go ahead and roll my window down at this time. That way we can listen for any audible noises of any leaks as well. So my air pressure is built up properly, and we're going to go ahead and turn the engine off at this time. Going to turn back on just to the on position. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'm not going to move it, Nick.
Yeah.
He doesn't want us to move it, so I'm not going to move it.
Oh, okay.
But that's good anyway to have those down. All right, so our air pressure is built up. We're now going to perform the leak part of the test. I'm going to press in my tractor brake, wait for my air pressure to stabilize. It does have these at separate intervals on the paper, so I'm going to do it how the paper's doing it. I'm also going to push in my trailer brakes and wait for the air pressure to stabilize. Come on. So once this stabilizes, what I'll be doing is pressing on the brake pedal continuously for 1 minute. And during that time, we'll be looking for the air pressure not to lose more than 4 psi, because we do have a trailer attached. If we did not have a trailer attached, we'd be looking for it not to go below 3 psi during this test. Okay, our air pressure has finally stabilized. I'm going to go ahead and start my 1 minute now, pressing down on the brake. Did you see that move? It's going below the 4 psi.
Well, he said when you initially press it,
It will move.
It uses X amount of psi to do
True.
it, but then it won't.
Oh, and then it stabilizes?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to hold this for 1 minute. During this minute, I am continually looking at my gauge as well as listening for any audible noises, such as a hissing sound indicating an air leak. All right, that's been a minute. All right, so during that time, I did not notice any leak, both audibly or visually on the gauge, so we have no leaks detected. What we're going to be doing next is going to the alarm system. We're testing our brake alarm to make sure that it's functioning properly. I'm going to be smoothly and firmly pressing on the brake continuously over and over, dropping our air pressure down. If our alarm is functioning properly, it should and did come on around 60 psi or just below that. I'm going to now continue to press on the brake pedal smoothly and firmly. We're now testing both buttons. Both buttons should pop out somewhere between 40 and 20 psi if they are functioning properly. Okay, both our buttons have popped out. Now I think he said you're not allowed to touch these.
Interesting. Okay.
If I remember correct, because he said he had to look like this because one popped out and the other one didn't.
Right.
Were you in the truck when he said that?
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't think you're allowed to touch them for some weird reason. I guess if you touch it and pop it, then you haven't completely tested the system.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So our buttons are working properly. That completes the lab portion of our test. We're now going to do another safe start and perform a tug test. But first we have to build our air pressure back up. So I'm now waiting for my gauges to cycle. including my ABS check engine and seatbelt lights. Okay, my check engine, ABS, and seatbelt lights have gone off. We're now ready to start the engine. Okay, we're going to wait for our air pressure to build up. Our air pressure needs to build up between 120 and 130 psi. I'm going to try to help it a little bit by giving it some gas. Actually, not sure how much that helps it, but makes you feel like you're doing something, I guess. So on this test, on the tug test, while we're waiting for pressure to build up, what I'll be doing is I will be releasing one brake at a time, stepping on the accelerator, and testing to make sure our kingpin is secure. When you're at this part of the test, you should be smiling because it's pretty much done.
No kidding.
You're like, I did it.
Unless you forget to put or you accidentally put out both brakes and then hit the accelerator, that's pretty much the only thing you can really fuck up at that point.
Yeah, but I think you just lose points there because it's the tug test.
I guess
so you might lose some points, but as long as you haven't missed too many points already. Stretching out anything does work. Maybe if you keep it revved up enough, right? Looks like it.
And the other trucks have go up super fast. Smaller tanks, I guess.
This one is actually overfilling to almost 140. So I don't know how big a deal, but I guess there's all kinds of stuff going on with this thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, we are supposed to wait for it to get to 120 to 130 for the tug test. Not normal operating range, which is 90 to 120.
Can you fact check that, Nick? 120 to 130?
120 to 140. You got some use out of this.
Okay, I'm above 120.
120 to 130.
Yep, above 120. So we're good to go for our tug test. So what I'm going to be doing is stepping on the brake here, putting my gear selector into drive. I'm going to be releasing the tractor brake only, and I'm going to step on the accelerator. And I do feel that the kingpin is properly secured. I'm going to re-engage the tractor brake and release the trailer brake. I'm going to once again step on the accelerator. And I do feel that the kingpin is still secure. So I'm going to put this back in neutral. Both my brakes are applied. That completes the tug test. We're now going to try to do the service brake test, which I'm not actually going to do it. You'll get pissed. During this test, what I'll be doing is testing to see if there's any pull on from my braking system, which would indicate an issue with my brakes. I'm going to go ahead and step on the brake, put my gear selector in drive.
Can you holler all clear around the truck real quick? Just to make sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not going anywhere.
We're not going to
Oh, we're not?
No,
Okay.
No. He didn't want to move vehicles at all.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not going.
Safety first.
Yeah, I got you. So I'm stepping on the brake, putting the gear selector in drive. I'm going to release both my brakes. I'll be pulling forward up to about 5 miles per hour, and then stepping on the brake to test out the brake system. So here, I'm going to go forward. Brake. Okay, so I'm loosely holding the steering wheel. I did not notice that my brakes were pulling left to right, so my brakes are functioning properly. I'm going to put my gear selector back in neutral and engage both of my brake systems. That's it. I'm fuck out of here.
Done. I like it. No, that was